Hello, YouTubes. Welcome back, campaigners. As ever, a little flummoxed, lost track of time. Sorry, I'm starting 30 seconds, 45 seconds late. Again, this week, we had some problems last week with technical difficulties with my internet not connecting and all that. Seems to be doing all right this week. So I'm not even kidding. The answer was turn it off and turn it back on again. Had to have the right thing to turn off and back on again, but I figured that out and got it handled. So this should work. Should on my channel or whenever I'm speaking is always in air quotes. So let's see what we can do. We're going to break a bridge and we're going to reconstruct it so that you can break it at will when you need to. Now, I've already gone over part of how I cut this piece loose. I will show that again here briefly, but I'm not going to go through it again. There are 2 videos last week. You can kind of skip the second one. It's only about 30 seconds long. And what I'm doing is taking a perfectly functional bridge that looks like this. Yep, there we go. Looks like this. And making it like this one so that it looks normal, but can be broken down in the middle of gameplay as if it is collapsed. It can be an impediment for your characters. It can be a danger to your characters. It can just be for aesthetics and looks. Who cares? It's up to you. You're the GM, not me. So I'm going to show you how to make that, or how I made this. It's never how to, it's always how I. But as you can see, it's got a little bit of a put together there. Then it fits all together and looks like it was never broken. So that is what we are going to be working on tonight. Let me get my hair pulled back and get a couple extra lights turned on here so that you can see more clearly. Got some lights to turn off as well. And yeah, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep talking to you while I do that. But this one goes off. This goes on because I'll need hot glue later. And over here, this other one goes off. This one comes on. That's a light on my camera. Y'all probably don't need to know that. Because y'all can't see that one. Yeah, tonight, on top of all of the other weirdness I've had going on, the YouTube was letting my... No, Google was letting my YouTube log in, but wasn't letting my mail log in. And so it wouldn't let me go to configure a couple things behind the scenes. But, oh, hey, who we got going on? Loosely Collected, nice. Mrs. Lynn, hello again. And Sim Peasant, so we got Jess in the house as well. Jess has a channel called Sim Peasant, and talks and plays really chill games. No shoot 'em ups, no major puzzle games, anything like that. Recently finished a whole series on the old versus new what are they called? Sims, duh, in the name. Sims houses. There were older versions and now there's newer versions. And it went on a side-by-side or first one and then the other perspective, one house at a time through a whole series of them. That was really cool. And now it's doing something in Disney where she's having to talk to oh my gosh, all my Disney friends can be mad at me. Jasmine, sorry, forgot her name for a second. Jasmine from you know, Genie and all that. So I don't know if she finished that one or not, but yeah, anyway, good channel, worth checking out. Oh, Earthman Brick, yeah, sorry. I know it's always late for you when I come on here, but thanks so much. I super appreciate it. Yeah, feel free to hit me up on my Discord or Lisa's if you want to find out more about the upcoming projects I have, EMB. But basically, I'm going to be building my dinghies, rebuilding my docks, showing a simple way to make toilet paper mache look like rough-hewn rock things for like standing stones, things like that. So I've got several of them coming up. Now that I have finally, this is a big deal. Oh, yeah. So good night. Have a good night, EMB. So I have finally gotten to the point where the plumbers have gotten the heck out of our house. It only took them 7 months. Ask me if I'm bitter. And you need to stay like that. I don't want you any closer than. But you do need to come up a little. Yes, I talk to my cameras. It's one of those things. If you talk to technology, then when Skylink tries to kill us all, you'll be last. Always be nice. Not Starlink. Starlink's garbage. Skynet. Probably technically also garbage, but at least it's garbage with a purpose. I have no idea what I was talking about. Oh, so yeah, now that the plumbers are out of my house, finally, I can start to spread out some of my huge stacks of junk that I didn't have any room for. It's not junk. It's projects in progress. And that will make it much easier to, once again, start putting out regular videos rather than just these lives. So that's where I'm at with all of that. And so without any further ado, let's talk about my patrons. And then we can get to some actual building. So, oops, lamp's in my way. I got to see my screen. I realize y'all don't need this, but I've got to move this real quick. There we go. Okay, now, these are my current patrons. You could be one too. But these are Dungeon Matron. That's Lisa, who I was just talking about. Lisa does not have a video presence or anything like that, but does run a lovely Discord where a lot of us geeks and gamers hang out and discuss things. So if you want access to her server, I can give that to you, but you'll have to come join my server, message me, and then I can give you that link. And next, we got Patrick Walther, longtime supporter of the channel, and super appreciate all of that help. That really helps put glue on the table, so to speak. Not on the table, you know what I mean, like food on the table, but glue. I'm trying to be funny. And then Digital Calibrator. Now, DC is one of my in real life friends. Comes over and helps me with stuff. So between Lisa and DC, I have improved my video quality and my audio quality. So thank both of them for the fact that you can hear me right now. Yes, huge stacks of junk. Yeah, exactly. That's my Monty Python reference for the evening. As if I'll make only one. So let's see. Go away. I appreciate them. Thank you them very much, but they need to go away now. Okay, there we go. All right, so what was I doing? Oh, anyway, whatever. So let's jump back into it. Now, I cut this bridge. We are no longer the knights who say, "Ni." We are now the knights who say, "Ike, ike, ike, patang, bop, boom, whoosh." Ask me how long it took me to learn that. It took me longer to learn that than it did to learn Lilumanai Lakatari by Lemonai by you know her name. Okay, so last week I cut these. I am following on these essentially the same pattern as I did on this one. That means on the center pillar, I cut just above these two separated bricks. And have done that. That was a trick because I had to use two different types of knives to really get in there and get through it. Plus, this one is all foam core and was much easier to make. And this time, because I'm apparently decided to make it harder on myself, this one's got triple layer corrugated cardboard underneath it. It's actually quite a bit more difficult to get through. But at the same time, when it's all said and done, I think it will actually be a more stable bridge. Not that this one's got any problems with that. It's fine as long as you don't, jam down on the breaky parts like I just did. Okay, so I am going to have a problem. You notice this one has a little piece that sticks back at the back like a number 7 here. Probably a backwards number 7 for y'all right now. But anyway, that helps to hold it in place down in here below. And I do not have a similar ability in this one because where this one cuts is below that. So that is what the hot glue gun is going to be for later. I'm going to be attaching some more cardboard in here so that this will stay rigid and support these things. But now, again, I already said without further ado, and then I gave you much further ado. But without further ado, for real, I'm now going to cut these bricks so that this section will come out. I will then cut them so that they form two pieces, both of which to be supported by this. So I am going to basically use this one as an example because astoundingly, I got the same brick pattern. I have no idea how I did that. I would have expected, with my luck, I would have cut it the opposite way, and then they wouldn't have matched up the same way. So we are going to take that and copy across that. But first, I know I said without further ado, but that's where we're at next. Let me just take a look. Off the bed, ding, ding, ding. It's Sim Peasant because I got Jasmine correctly. That was Sim Peasant saying that. Thank you, Jess. Are you bitter? Yes, I am bitter. I am a little bitter. YouTube's kind of lately. Today, just in the last like 3 days, my feed has gone wonky. I try and try. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in this. Oh, block that channel entirely. I'm not interested in this. And it gets pretty good to where it's like 2 or 3 every time I refresh the page. And lately, YouTube has been sending me stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with anything I've ever gone and looked for. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the stuff's popular, but I don't care about it. Or just don't have the time to watch it. Let's see. I do not know what Kika Dash means, but okay. Loosely Collected said, somebody makes figures of the knights who say, "Nee, I need them." Yeah, there you go. I have actually seen somebody that kit bashed the Knights of the Order, and they're all normal knights, but they've got, Bedivere and Lancelot's shield, laws and what's the word on it? Badge on their shields and all that. And then they made one of the knight that says "Nee," because you only ever see really one of them, and he's like twice the height of them, which is really funny because I've seen how they did the making of it, and it's literally he's just standing on one apple box and they're shooting way up, so it makes him look super tall. But my friend said, yeah, but it looks like in the movie. So he made one figure that was like twice as tall as all the others, and I thought that was pretty slick. All right. Yeah, they're not interested. It's like, okay, small side thing while I begin to cut. Years ago, YouTube had a thing where you could tell it, I never want to see this keyword again. And you'd never get anything with that in it again. I'm just going to pick one at random that I'm not interested in. Let's say mufflers. I don't care about seeing your muffler video. So you could put mufflers in that and it would never see it again. And that was great. It was just one of those strange things that apparently not very many people used, which baffles me. But apparently it was, YouTube didn't like it for some reason, I guess, because they couldn't send you all the popular muffler videos or whatever. And so they stopped having that as an option, but it was still in the API. So there were, for a while, I'm old, so it was a while ago. Just deal with that. Okay, again, I'm following the same pattern on this one, So I've cut down here. I'm going to cut at a slight angle around this curvature, and then I'm going to come down this row here. Now I could go here because I have plenty of stability here, but that will actually make it more difficult to pull the piece out later and will cause the more wear and tear over time. It's more difficult while you're doing it in the middle of a game, etc. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, so the API was available to other... knocked my mic off trying to pull my hair back. So the API was available to other developers. And so there were add-ons you could get for your browser that would do the same thing. If you did a search under YouTube and something popped up, you would just never see it. Sometimes it was a blank, just a spot where a video should be. And other times it was you never even saw it. It was just gone. And you could do this for all, any keyword you wanted, but it was an aftermarket add-on thing. And there were several places, Sorry, my mic's having issues. Just there were several add-ons you could get that would do that, and then they just stopped being available. And up my mic in the trash. Sorry, y'all. So they were there for a while, and then I noticed that mine wasn't working, and I asked, and the developer guy said, "Oh, yeah, they took it out. We can't do that anymore. It's not even available anymore." So they specifically want you to see stuff you're not interested in. I don't know if they think that, oh, well, if we just show this to them, that will, they'll suddenly go, oh, that, and now, we can show, pimp out this other channel to them or whatever. And I'm like, that's never happened in the history of humans. If, Og liked club and didn't like pointy stick, Thrognar telling him, no, pointy stick, good. Here, poke, poke. Oh, yeah, pointy stick is good. No, Og's still going to be like, nope, I like club. So YouTube taking away more of our autonomy to know what we ourselves want for we ourselves is really kind of obnoxious. That was honestly one of the first times that I ever really started to get irritated at Google and YouTube. And now there are so many reasons. Okay, again, I'm just following these stone lines, and this one does not want to cut free for some reason. That should be all the way through, but again, should is always in air quotes. Now, some of this is going to have to be retouched in the paint. I already covered that in one of my earlier videos, that we'd have to do that, and that's not a big deal. I know how I did my paint jobs and all that, so redoing it's not going to be a problem. Okay. Now, all of those should be through. Okay, now I get to start to actually cut into cardboard underneath here. And that's going to be much tougher and may involve me needing a bigger knife. But this is still not the big knife. There's 3 sizes of these, and this is the smallest snap blade knife. They make them in, I think they're 8, 11, and 14 millimeters or something. I don't know. But that's the smaller one. All right, let's see. I saw somebody kit bash the Grail Knights with the page horses and the knights who say knee. And they were all used in a Bretonnian armor for Warhammer. The page for the king, his name is Perry. The rest of them, I have no idea. I do not know the name of Sir Robin's minstrels, but they've all been eaten now, so we don't care. So Loosely Collected said that they saw that, and that's funny that somebody would use that for a Bretonnian army. It's perfect. Love that. Yeah, it screws up the algorithm if you don't like stuff. How dare you not like what? Yeah. Oh, the caveman rabbit. Yeah, I refer to Og often. Og and Ugg. And let's see. Yeah. Don't you tell me to be careful. Careful's not good. Blood sells. Everybody wants to see me lop off a finger. That's why they call me Lefty and Nubby. I wonder if they're supposedly they only boost on the unlogged in pages or pages where nobody has ever said not interested or whatever. They're allegedly don't boost paid videos if you've told before that you're not interested in that subject, but we know that's not true. That's not a knife. Yeah, that's not a knife. This is a knife. Yeah. I apologize to all my Australian friends. I have several of you, and I have just possibly offended all of you. Otherwise, maybe you're like, yeah, Crocodile Dundee, he's a mate. Yeah. Yeah, minstrels. That's funny that they made the minstrels and everything. Okay, now, here's the thing. On this one, this line goes basically straight back and is pretty easy to cut and pretty easy to put back in. Now, I could take out both of these bricks here because the edge of that brick is right here. But I think that way madness lies, because then I'm going to have this piece in the front and way over here in the back, and it's going to have to go around a piece here. So I think I'm not doing that. I thought I'd wanted to make a bigger hole, but I don't want to. Now, if I had thought ahead and made it so all of the bricks on one side would fall, and I had cut it here, I might have done that. But we're beyond that point now. So I am going to go right here. And again, this is going to cause frustration and possible swear words because I've got to go through this layer of foam, here, and I think, hold on. Oh, this piece is foam core as well. So this should be much easier than I was expecting. Huzzah! Okay, so start in that little groove there. It's one thing to mess up some of the paint. It's another thing to mess up like big, huge gouges in the paint, but I can fix it either way. Okay. Yeah, loosely collected. I agree with you. I think that YouTube shows you what they want to show you, whether you're interested or not. The Crocodile Dundee thing reminds me of a thing about Muppets. I'll tell you why in just a minute. Plan on painting shields for the hired fighters from my Wizard's Warband and Frostgrave, and I like the Knight shields and Holy Grail, especially Robin's Chicken Rampant. Yeah. And that's actually, there were fowl, chickens, peacocks, ducks, geese, all sorts of stuff in medieval. Well, I guess that wouldn't be medieval. Late medieval, early Renaissance. Heraldry. Okay. Yeah, this is going much easier than I expected because that is only 2 layers of foam core, which is sweet. That makes it much easier to cut than this piece where I was cutting through the cardboard. But I still have to get through that cardboard. So let's, yep, that blade is not long enough. We will take this. And I've now extended that fairly, I've extended it extensively. And I know that there's corrugated right there. And as you can see, I'm going to be coming all the way through that. Now, when I cut down, I need to make sure to not take off this little corner of this piece. So this is going to be a little delicate, but not too bad. Oh, now I'm cutting through hot glue. I can tell by the stickiness of it. Hot glue, even cold hot glue, kind of grips the blade. And I think that is, yep, that, I don't know if you can see that, but that is free of each other. If I hold it just right, you can see that is free floating. All right, now, close knife for safety, little knife. And I can continue all the way across this until I get to the middle part right here, because that's going to involve a different blade, because that's going to be tougher to get through. But basically, I can go here to here with, actually, I don't even need to come up that far. Here to here without too much trouble, because that's just 2 layers of foam core. Yep, I started the one end and moved to the other end to keep going. All my OCD friends are now like, no! I will go back over here and I will start this one. Wow, that goes through so easy. I need to be really careful and not cut the next brick up, because that could certainly happen. And I don't want to, I don't mind repainting them, but I don't want a cut brick where I don't want to cut brick. Okay. Wow, this is going through dangerously easily. That's not necessarily a good thing. But so far, I think we're doing all right. That one's free. That one's free. Good to go. Oh. Yes, exactly. And the number of the count shall be 3. 3. No, 1 shall not stop at 2, neither shall then progress to 4. And 5 is right out. 1, 2, 5. 3, my lord. 3. I might have seen that movie once or twice this week. Nah, not really this week. This month? No, last month I did. I saw it last month. Within the last month. Let's go with that. Alrighty. Okay, now we are getting to that centerpiece where that extra cardboard is. So let's find out how easy this is really going to be. I suspect not the answer. Okay, now I do want to take this particular brick out if I'm going to match this particular pattern, because that's this one here. It looks like it's missing a tooth. But that one, and that one's right in the middle on that support. So that's going to be fun. Okay, that is as far as this blade goes here because of that cardboard in the middle. So we're good there. Then this, that's going to be right on that support, isn't it? What a pain in the... I may, if you'll see how this one looks like a number 7 and fits right. Where does that fit? Okay, fits right here. I may... Oh no, it fits against this part here. But I may... I'm trying to decide. I think I want to put a second support in here that glues to just support this. I was thinking I could take this and this support entirely out. And in order to get an open gap like this, I think I'm going to need to. So that lets me know where I'm going next. Where I'm going next is take out this entire support. But this support is only under these 2 bricks. The trick is I'm going to have to basically cut it and leave a tiny little section of the support back here. But if you look, that little piece of brick is actually on this piece, the upright, not on the support. So that should work in my favor. Again, should. Okay, where was I? Oh. Okay, yeah. So I want to take this out. Now the problem is the actual edge of this piece, this brick, is under this one. And I am not going to worry about that. I'm going to cut back in at a slight angle and take out what I can of this brick without trying to remove any of the railing brick. So we have come across here. We should not have come down here. Good, I didn't. Okay, and now we're going to go up toward that. 5 is right out, exactly. 1, 2, 5, my lord. 3, 3. How did that get through that easily? Oh, well, there you go. That's only through 2 layers of... Oh, if I can stop wiggling it. That's only through 2 layers of foam core, which made that easy to cut. Now, I can do the same on this side, but it's going to be much more difficult because that is right on top of this. Let me show you the actual camera, what I'm talking about. This piece will block this cut here, this tiny little downward cut, and then the one across this way. So this is going to get funky. And I can hear it hitting cardboard underneath. So come across. Okay, that is through both layers of foam core. Right there. And then I'm going to come across here, undercutting this to make that piece come free. Okay, now the trick is, while this piece is going in at this angle, underneath needs to come up straight, vertical, plumb, to meet that angle. That's going to be the tricky bit of this whole thing. Okay, that's well and truly into the cardboard. And I have not cut into any of the other bricks around it, with the caveat of yet. Okay, we have cut into the cardboard and up this way. So I don't know if you can see, but we have cut into cardboard inside here. Oh, oops, if I show the camera. Inside here. And yes, when I built this, I was too sloppy with this glue, which may or may not be an issue in a moment. Okay, now this needs to come across. Get my bearings, make sure I'm cutting the correct bricks. This needs to come across like normal, but there's corrugated under it. And I think we've got that pretty good. Now, because where this is, where it's situated on this piece, stabbing straight down and through is going to work here. You're going to do just that. So we're going to put it in the slot and then cut. And I am cutting very, very slowly just by pushing the pointy knife down the hole. I don't know if you can hear that on the ASMR-ness of this, but it's making little crunchy cardboard cutting noises. Oh, let go. If the blade's not tight enough, it won't pull back out. So it's not the cardboard holding this, it's the hot glue down here holding it. So let go of my knife. Let go, I need that back. Come on. Like rambunctious dogs. It's not fetch if you don't give me the ball back. We're not cutting if you won't give me the knife. Okay. Wow, I am having to exert far more force on this than I am comfortable with, because I don't want, if this suddenly makes its way through and slips down, I don't want to use the shoulders of the chuck in the ferrule to dent the foam. So let's make sure that that is plenty tight so that we are not worried about losing the blade. Get a pair of pliers. Really work that down. All the nomenclature he's teaching us. Ferrules and shoulders and chucks and work. Okay. I think this line is unfortunately also over this cardboard. Let's hope not. And here, let's find out. Oh, and I did exactly what I didn't want to do. I cut. It suddenly went sideways and cut into this brick, which I really didn't want to do. Quit that. And it did it because it's off of a piece of cardboard underneath, and it keeps trying to push it inward. So I'm now cutting into that blade. So what I'm going to do is that is just going to end up being a broken brick when I'm totally done with this, and it's probably going to fall off on its own somewhere in here when I'm cutting. And when it does, that is fine. Now, the rest of this should be easy cutting. There's no more cardboard underneath. Again, same pattern as this. All we're doing is just following the bricks around so that when this is all done, they fit together and this will sort of pressure fit and stay in there. Okay. So I had 5 people watching at one point. They are not anymore. That is probably understandable. Wow, you can see where that piece went all crooked at an angle. That is bizarre. All right. I hope they come back and watch later, because this is actually pretty interesting stuff. Oh, no, that's not the same cut. I don't know. This is, most people just build stuff to build stuff. They'll build like a bridge, and then they'll build a broken bridge and swap them out. But I like the fact that I could, if I wanted, knock it down with minis on it in the middle of the game. So they actually say, oh no, my knight fell down the hole. And that is why I do crazy stuff like this. Now, I haven't had a gaming group to game with in forever, so I don't know why I'm bothering right now. But somebody asked how I did it. So I'm actually specifically Lisa, my patron. She asked how I do it. And so I am doing it. All right. Now, she has a game on Sunday, so she's not even seeing this live, but she will watch it later, I am sure. So, oh, did you have to restart it? I don't know. It's been working on my end. Knock wood. So, yeah, YouTube's got the weirdness. Okay. I'm sorry you had to restart, but I'm glad you're back or again or whichever. All right. Oh, cutting through hot glue is never fun because the blade can go all kinds of wonky, so you just got to be slow and careful and steady. Okay, that is all the way down between those two bricks on the railing. All right, now how did I do this one? Same way. Okay, so I'm going to do it the same as on this side. I'm going to cut between the keystone and the next one. For any of you who don't know, keystone's the stone at the top of the arch. It's generally shaped at a slightly different angle, and it fitting in there like a wedge pressures the other parts of the arch out and keeps an arch upright. So now you know. You don't really need to know that unless you're, actually in architecture or interested in the architecture. You're just building to build, whatever. Okay, now again, I'm having to go through a layer of cardboard as well, so this is a little bit tougher. I'm just following that line right there. Give me just a second. Can't really do this with the camera pointed at it correctly. Now I could try that. Nope. I could try that, but I don't really have a way to zoom it in easily. I can, but not easily. So as you can see, I like to keep my space clean. This gets all of the stuff out of the way, so I'm never like, why is this thing in my way? So there you go. This is my clean thing. Somebody asked me one time, how do you keep from getting paint on your cutting board? I don't paint on my cutting board. Pretty simple. I have like drop sheets made out of cardboard, and I put stuff on top of them, and that's where I paint and glue and such. So the trick is just don't be honest. I also have rolls of like butcher paper. I don't know why I went this way because my butcher paper is actually this wide. So I roll it this way and cut it off. And then I tape it to the edge of the desk and a couple of strips back here, and hold that in place. So there you go. That's how you can keep your work area clean, is just clean it up before you go, and don't, like this knife is right here, but as soon as I finish tonight, this knife will go right up here into my little storage bin. So, all right, let's go back to the right-hand cam so you can see what the hell I'm doing. All righty. Again, slow and careful through this one cut, just so I don't cut a piece off of the masonry. I one time thought about naming the channel or a blog or something Fomason, like foam mason. And a friend of mine said it sounded like a French, like a what's the word? When you put on airs, a hoity-toity French wine trying to pretend it was above its station. Yes, Fomason. And I see what you're saying. I know that word is spelled with 2 S's, not just one. But y'all get the point. Okay, I've done the same thing. I have followed this line and this line to this little point, and then back this way, and then cut this. I think they are all cut free now. Not, they shortly will be. Cut in there. Yep, okay. Now this should, nope, it is not cut free yet. Why not? Sometimes you just got to do this. Got to go over and over and over and over. Just little tiny, like 1/10 of a millimeter at a time. Millimeter? America, freedom units. Yeah. I mix them and match them. I schooled somebody accidentally. Felt kind of bad after it, but basically I didn't understand his description. He said that something took up three cubic feet. And I said, 3 cubic feet or 1 cubic yard? He's like, what's the difference? Well, 1 cubic yard is 27 cubic feet. And I hope he was educated not to offend it. He didn't seem angry, but he's like, yeah, that's what I meant, a cubic yard. I'm like, okay. Anybody doesn't understand that, I'll be happy to explain it. But a cubic yard is not 3 cubic feet. It is 27 cubic. I think I have found my sticky together part. I think it is hidden underneath that railing brick. Yep. This is the part that has not come free right here. And I may just whittle that hot glue out in order to get to that, because it's frustrating the out of me. The problem is this line is supposed to line up with this line, but doesn't. It's off by millimeter, 32nd of an inch, whichever one you want to call that. You can see where the blade's coming out. I say you can see it, but it's right here. This little triangle right here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I wish you had a better tablet. It would be nicer to see this. I know you've got the laptop as well, but that's a production, getting that out. Fromage like cheese. Yes, moisson. RUG, is that Are You Good Enough? I don't know the rug system. I'm about to be edumacated, y'all. What's the RUG system? I have the feeling I'm picturing that Chad guy with the big chin going, you good? Yeah, see, it's this tiny little piece of glue right there. That's the culprit. So, at least from this side, if I cut through, I'm harming the back of that brick, and no one's ever going to see it. Or the bottom, technically. Its bottom is its backside. I am 12 years old. Somebody told me earlier today that his Warhammer 40K knob had huge horns, and I giggled for like 10 minutes. His knob is horny. Okay, there. It is finally loose and free. Except for this piece here. This can come entirely out at this point. But now I got to get through the cardboard at the right spot, at the right angle. So we know that I went through this at that strange angle back under that stone. And right here. So I got to figure out exactly where this blade comes out on this side. Okay, good to know. Right here. Looks like I'm going to have a piece of paper that I may or may not glue back on right here at a later time. Probably just paint it. I'll probably tear it off or cut it off and paint it. Okay, so that is this side of this brick. We're going to call this brick 1. Brick 2 next to it comes out here on this side. But I can't just cut straight from this line to this line. I just poke myself with my knife. Don't do that. I've got to cut. I can't just cut straight from this side to this side because it has this strange little jog in between the two bricks. So now I've got to deal with that. Now I've pretty much gotten through it on this side, I think. If I go in at the correct angle, yeah, that's pretty much cut free. Some of these little bits of foam and little bits of hot glue are popping out, but like I said, we're going to repaint all this when it's all said and done. Okay, and that comes across. Stop slipping out. Cut the cardboard, you piece of junk. The knife is fine. The knife is sharp. The cardboard is fine. The cardboard is doing what it's supposed to do, which is stay rigid and sturdy. Unfortunately, I want it to not do that right now, and it's like, no, I have one job. Okay. Why won't you let me do my job? So, yep. Excuse me. A lot of repetitive cut, nibble. Tiny little slice, tiny little slice. I'm cutting down right now through 3 layers of cardboard, 2 layers of foam core, and into a piece of cardboard sideways through hot glue. So, yeah, it's a slow and delicate process. And I don't know if I can describe how annoying it is to be delicate and stabby at the same time. Delicately stabby. It's like surgery. I always say on this channel, it's not rocket surgery. Well, it kind of is this time. Okay. I'm not really straining that hard. That's all for effect. Okay. Now, no, I don't want to go that way. I want to go that way. So the blade is cutting into the card. You can see that is the back of the blade right there. And I'm trying to cut into this card from this side. Now, this was much easier when I made the first one, but I designed it to be like this. This one is a retrofit and is arguing with me, which I am fine with because I'm doing things against its will that it's not really designed for. So, okay. So the part I'm cutting right now is across the top of this brick, top edge when you're looking at it this direction. So keep your fingers out of the way. It's super easy for a knife to slip here. And if it slips and goes all the way through this cardboard, I'm actually okay with that. I can live with that. I don't want it to do that because I want it to make that little jog shape. But at this point, that is the least of my concerns. Keeping my fingers out of the way is high on the list of things I want to do. Wow, you are argumentative. Let's see what's going on. Giggles and Beavis and Butthead. Exactly right. No, not Bob Ross. Bob Ross was a complete jerk. He stole everything he had from Bill Alexander. But I get your point. I will say that Bob definitely presented it in a more soothing way to his welcome friends than today we are going to paint a happy tree. Bill Alexander was a little more brash. I'll give him that. I'll give Bob that. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Bob Ross. People are like, oh, so you're mad because he stole the wet on wet technique. I'm like, that was Bill Alexander stole that. He claims that he invented it. Claimed, he's super dead. Claimed that he invented it. So he's got a few things to answer for himself, but he was Bob Ross's mentor, and then Bob screwed him over. So no, Bob's wife and manager caused Bob to screw him over. But all told, I am more of a Bill Alexander fan than I am a Bob Ross fan. I haven't seen the movie, or anybody asked, or miniseries or whatever it was. I haven't, but I just really haven't had time to put that into my viewing. But yes, I get what you're saying. I would say that Bob Ross probably wasn't really that much of a jerk. His wife and manager were, I wouldn't have invited them back to the barbecue. Put it that way. Okay. Now, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to cut that loose without just going across at a weird diagonal underneath. I could potentially rip it free because everything else is loose at this point. So, all right, quick vote. You got about 30 seconds. Should I rip it, or should I try to take it out and eat little pieces underneath again? Sorry if I kicked off any Bob Ross fans. Oh, I don't even know. Who owns Bob Ross's stuff now? I know you can still get Bill Alexander's line of paints under, I think, under his family's, still got the trademark on that one. Who owns Bob Ross's stuff now? Disney? Disney owns everything. Okay, part of that is back inside here, and part of this here. So I think I am going to, I didn't get any votes on whether I should cut or tear. So I think I am going to cut it free from the under and just see where that goes. And then I'm probably going to tear that last little bit because that part is entirely internal and you will never see it. And I can trim it once it's out and able to get to it. Ooh, yo, did y'all realize how close my thumb was to that blade? Yeah, let's not do that. Oh, come on. Cutting through hot glue. Yeah, I love hot glue. Hot glue is my favorite glue, period. Hands down, end of story. Fight me. But yeah, it's a pain to cut through after. But that's kind of why I like it, because it's tough. Okay, so this one needs to come in at this angle. Do about there. I'll probably just cut through a brick on the top, but okay. And then this comes back this way through the hot glue. And now it, say it with me, air quotes, should come loose. And it is. Ha ha! Look at that. I didn't even have to tear it. There we go. Okay. Now, like I said, weird little L shape. Not super fun and exciting. Am I going to repaint this to make it? No, it's underneath. I don't care. Now, when I got the paintbrush out and I'm doing things, will I probably do it anyway? Yeah, because it will be visible once you have this piece fall down. I also have little things like here, there was not a corner because a point because it ended at the brick. On this side, I have a tiny little piece right here, and I can guarantee you that's going away. I'm not going to try to glue that to anything else. It's mostly hot glue anyway. No, it's all foam. But yeah, that's just too much of a pain to deal with, so that's going to disappear as well. But for right now, this piece attaches and detaches thusly. Ta-da! Did a thing. Holy cow, already coming up on 8. That took me an hour. Okay. So I do want this in 2 pieces as well. So now I've got to decide if I want to follow this this same pattern of separation, or if I want to make it into like thirds like this, or how I want to do that. If I do it to thirds, it's going to be kind of a problem because there won't be anything to support sides. They're going to be sort of free floating right in here. So I think I am not going to do that. Now, my question is, based on, this is the original, based on this pattern, I went straight down between the middle blocks, and then I went to the right. Now, I could do that again here, or I can go to the left, and it's kind of 6 of 1. I don't think it really matters. But I think I'm going to go the opposite side of this one, just because this little pointy bit is not as pointy as this little pointy bit. And I don't want to worry about it tearing off. So I think I'm going to go to this side instead. Yeah, like I said, his ex-wife or wife and the business manager were both kind of jerks to him. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. They got to screw with a good thing. Just let people enjoy stuff. But no. Okay. All right. So I'm going to cut this line, and then figure out this back part in a minute. Again, hot glue is always difficult to cut through. Paint is always difficult to cut through. The foam is easy. The two being different can lead to the blade slipping. So always be careful. Never cut towards yourself, that sort of thing. Now, sometimes I do cut towards myself if I'm like shaving little bits off. I'll use my thumb to brace and pull the knife. But this is not one of those times. That is a good way to lose a finger here. Now, I don't really want to squish this back piece because it will make it line up less well in here, but I don't think I really have an option. I think I'm pretty much going to have to use that as but